Ashrah is thrown into this 80s action world in this movie. So what's it like to play a character who's definitely a bit out of place in that very distinct and very wild time period?
Well, I remember the 80s very well. But she was a fun character to play. She's very serious, very, logical, doesn't make a lot of sarcastic jokes, but when she does, it's played very, very straight compared to Johnny, who's just like out there and full of sarcasm. And yeah, she's a fun character because she's like the straight person. I compare her to like Data on Star Trek or something. She's just like, you're not sure if she like gets it sometimes.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And speaking of that, like contrast, do you enjoy being the foil to Cage's so much like arrogance and smarminess, and then Asha's very composed and serious? Do you enjoy that kind of role a lot?
I do. I do. I wish that I was in the room with him more, because it would have been so much fun to be able to bounce off of. But then I think it would have made my job just a lot harder because he's so funny. He does it so well. It would have been so much harder to sort of keep a straight face.
That makes sense. And another thing with Astra is she has this whole backstory being, a demon who's working on being more human. So how much backstory were you given before you started doing the voice work, and how did you use that in your performance?
I know absolutely nothing of any of these characters before I get the role, because I don't play video games at all. And
Mhm.
so I rely really heavily on the director to be able to sort of describe the character and the history and the situation and like what's going on in the scene, all of it. I don't even get an idea really about like what it looks like until, maybe I get to do the ADR and sort of see the character in motion. So yeah, I have to rely a lot on the description, the director to sort of help guide me and put me in the right place for this character.
For sure. And even outside of Cage Match, you're no stranger to Mortal Kombat. You've played quite a few characters across it. So what is it about the
Character.
series that keeps you really interested and keeps you coming back to the franchise?
Yeah, these like like you were saying, this franchise has gone on for such a long time that I don't even remember like all of the characters that I've played. And so it's fun to sort of be able to look back and say, oh wait, I've played like six people in this series already.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember.
And similarly, you also voiced Lee May in the video game that just came out of Mortal Kombat. So do you approach a video game role in this universe different from the movie role, or do you kind of approach them in the same way?
I think as an actor, you sort of approach it the same way because you want to make both characters as sort of believable and interesting as possible.
Mhm.
I think the only difference is that the time that it takes for a video game to come out is usually so much longer than like one of these animation films. That as an actor, I think you have to sort of play them similarly. I
Mhm.
mean, just sort of they're both acting roles. And just because if it's in a video game, I don't think you give one or, I don't think you give one or the other any sort of difference. Or
Yeah.
maybe I should. I don't know.
Makes sense. I mean,
I have to
and
think about
between
it.
these two, recent roles where they both came out really recently in the Mortal Kombat universe, did you find Ashra or Lee May more challenging or more rewarding, or did you find them to be pretty similar?
I guess Ashrah was a little bit more challenging because she's so straight. She's so sort of, serious and logical and robotic in a way. But yet you have like, like little bits of sarcasm that sort of peeks through
Mhm.
because she's sort of learning how to be human. Um, so yeah, I think that was a little bit more difficult to play than Lee May.
Makes sense. And when you first saw Ashra's design in this movie, she has the big shoulder pads. It's very 80s.
Oh,
What were your first
loved
thoughts
it.
when you saw that?
I loved it. I loved it. And I actually I went to Burning Man this year, and I didn't realize until I saw the movie last night again, or for the first time, that I wore a hat that was very similar to the character. I was like, wait a minute, was I inspired by that? And I didn't even realize.
That's so cool. And acting alongside you in this movie, not only Joel McHale, but you also have Jennifer Grey and the late Gilbert Gottfried. What's it like to be in a production with so many legends and talented people like yourself?
It's such an honor, and Jennifer was absolutely amazing. I wish I had got to be in the room with these people. I mean, as a animation actor, you're often just in there by yourself, with in the booth by yourself with the director and stuff. Especially, post COVID.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was truly an honor just to be on the same screen, even though I didn't get to act with them in any of the scenes.
absolutely. And of all the people you've played in Mortal Kombat, do you have a personal favorite out of any of them, or have you just enjoyed the whole experience?
I love Devora a lot because she's just so mean and evil, and getting to kind of do this bug lady and coming out with this, her cadence and rhythm and the way she talks and stuff. It was really a fun sort of exercise to be able to do that.